People will say, don't go to bed mad. Work it out at night. And I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted sometimes at night. So I disagree with that. And I like to go to bed. And because I know and I trust my partner and we will work it out in the morning.
Yes, right.
Stress can have a terrible influence on our lives, on our kids, our families, on couples. How can we learn to manage stress better so it doesn't impact our happiness as much as it does?
We have to recognize the signs and the symptoms of stress. And one of them, probably the most important to recognize, is when you're arguing. It's just arguments can destroy relationships, and when we're stressed, we have a greater tendency to argue and resist and see the negative in things and oppose and be defensive. All that comes from stress. So let's understand a little of the physiology of stress. When you're under stress, cortisol, the hormone cortisol, increases. Blood flows to the back part of your brain rather than to the front of your brain. The front of your brain is capable of understanding another point of view. If you're stressed, you really can't understand another point of view, and therefore conversation will only get worse and turns into an argument. So rather than try to beat an argument to death, couples need to know the symptom, we're getting defensive, and never say to your partner, you're getting defensive, because to say that means you're being defensive. Okay? So notice it within yourself and then take a timeout. Timeouts are so important. And what do you do during your timeout? Go do something that makes you feel good. See, rather than try to have this conversation end up making you feel good, you're only having a bad conversation because you don't feel good. Don't look to your partner to make you feel good at that time, but look to yourself. What are the things that make you happy? So we have the hormonal difference between men and women is that for men, if he does something that will increase his testosterone, it will lower his stress and he'll be more friendly and loving again. For a woman, she needs the hormone oxytocin. She needs to go away and do something that makes her feel happy, which are oxytocin producers. She might want to go talk to a girlfriend that's a big oxytocin producer, go shopping, spend time in the garden, meditate, take a hot bath, do something that she enjoys doing where she's not rushing, and that will make this hormone oxytocin, which will move her stress down. Now when women are under stress, what happens is they have 8 times more blood flow to the emotional part of the brain, to the emotional memory. And at that time you cannot hear another person's point of view. You have to back off, and that is the solution. And if we don't have that simple concept, make yourself happy, then come back to your partner. And even then, don't come back and have the argument again. Come back and just be loving for a while. And then try to look at, okay, what are we arguing about? Let's take emotions to the side and let's do a problem-solving session.
What I love about that, John, is that people will say, don't go to bed mad. Work it out at night. And I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted sometimes at night. So I disagree with that. And I like to go to bed. And because I know and I trust my partner and we will work it out in the morning. And I do something that I like. I'm sleeping. And then it's amazing. It gives me a chance to reflect and be responsible. What did I do? Okay, why am I reactivated? Okay, and then he gets a chance to think about it, maybe in the shower, and the next morning we talk about it. And it's so much easier to resolve that.
And you have this wisdom. Give him time to think about it. If you talk to a guy for a while, it's overwhelming to him. He's trying to, what does all this mean? What am I supposed to do about it? Give him some time to think about it. One of the great things to use in therapy between couples is, so what did you hear her say? And what did you hear him say? That's reflective listening. Works great, but when couples are at home and they're arguing, and one says, okay, what did you hear me say? 99% of the time, it just gets worse. So that's a time which it changed my marriage completely when we stopped doing that. And basically, I hear as much as I can, and I very nicely say, okay, honey, I hear you. And what that means is I've taken as much as I can. I'm going to go away. I'm going to do something to make me feel good again and not defensive. Then I'm going to be thinking about it automatically. And then I'm going to come back and do loving things for you. And you can say anything to me, but at a certain point I have to say, I hear you. And that's timeout. And this is so, so important because women often think that we're going to talk it through and get to the end of it and you beat it to death. When a man pulls away, say, go away. That's good. Let's stop this conversation for now. Because you made the point. Men do go away and think about it. It's really key, just as women will go and think about it.
I'm sitting here laughing as you're saying this, because everything that I'm not supposed to do, I think I do in my marriage, probably. And that's what, when you were saying, when I think I probably, because I'm such a talker and a communicator, and when I get mad, I'm requesting information. I want more. I want some realization when you're in that argument. And sometimes my husband will just say, I can't, no more, I need to go. Oh, and that makes me more mad. You know, I get really
You feel
mad.
abandoned.
I do, because I'm ready to talk this out. I'm ready to communicate this.
And he's full.
And he's done.
Full.
He's done.
He's
It's
just
like
full.
we're done. Or the other thing I do is I do go talk to my girlfriends. It's the first thing I do. You won't believe. And then it's so interesting. I'm going to have to tell him about the serotonin thing. You're going to have to repeat that to me. The oxytocin thing, because it's, why do you always have to tell your girlfriends? Like, why? Because I feel good doing that. That's what girls do, or women do.
Yeah, but that's an interesting point. I go tell my girlfriends. That is one of the worst habits I think that we can get into. Instead, go do something that we like to do, cool off. We don't need to go tell everybody about our stuff. One of the things I have in my relationship is I don't go telling everybody about, because they're gonna take it and they're gonna do whatever they do with it. It's very difficult for them to restore the relationship like that. You know, so I tell people to either find somebody in a healthy relationship or just take a time out, and then you'll have much more space to be able to deal with it with your partner, because you're the only two people that you can resolve it with, I think.
Yeah.
Well, sharing your feelings with your friends is very, very important, but I think the point you're making is you don't want to share it with somebody who's going to go into agreement that you have rejection and reject your spouse.
Yes.
My wife is like, she has a group of women she meets with every month, and she says, John, I just want you to know, I never share any of our issues or what's going on with me with anybody that doesn't hold you in the highest esteem. And that's the whole key to it. Is you don't want somebody just reinforcing your negativity, but somebody can be present and allow you to have your feelings without judgment.
That's an incredibly important distinction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
because
like that.
when you share your feelings with someone that just says, well, remember the time he did blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. And then you're there with your friend. You're there with your friend and your husband, and they're like,
it's a bad
I know what you did with my friend.
That's right.
It doesn't go so well.
Yeah,
it elevates
it's a really
the stress.
important distinction. Talk about stress, right? Right up there. This is great. Stress is such a painful part of our lives when we don't think of it in a positive way. And it does affect us mind, body, and spirit. And the only way we're going to get out of this stressful world we live in is by acknowledging that stress affects us and finding positive ways to deal with it. And I think we learned a whole lot of lessons in this video today.